Volume, come on, Jesus' name. No weapon. All right, let's see. Did it do it? All right, we are live. So hold on with me, ladies. Let me set up one last thing. Thank you everyone for joining. This is a new format, so bear with me as I continue to make some adjustments. But thank you for everyone who has already tuned in. You know what day it is. It is Thursday. That's right. Your day of empowerment, motivation, and encouragement. This is your place to come for your weekly boost. Thank you, Ed Gray. I see Trevonna Fobb has logged in. All right, so that is great. Thank you so much. I'm almost done. Okay, let's get this going. This is your place to come for your weekly boost. All right. Okay, great. So I want to thank all of you for joining us today. I have a beautiful panel of ladies for you to enjoy along with me. As you know, we are going through something in our country right now. And so we all are at home. So that's even more exciting for me because it gives you an opportunity to connect with me on Thursday. And so before I get started, again, thank you everyone that has tuned in. I have 4 beautiful ladies that you saw on my flyer. Yeah, I know how to get your attention. I put some beautiful girls up there and you say, oh, I'm gonna watch Southern Girl this Thursday, but we are talking about something that is very important, but we can be beautiful while we do it. Isn't that right, ladies? Yes, okay. All right. And so as I make my final assessment and transition right now to get set up, so bear with me. As you know, I'm used to being in the studio, but we, like I said, whatever your purpose is, purpose doesn't stop during a storm. We go harder, and we just have to make our transitions through the storm that God has equipped us with. So thankfully, we have technology, and I have made a commitment to master it. I have made a commitment to put myself in an arena to see what I can do to keep my purpose going. So here we are on my 3rd interview during this trial, and I've built up to the point I have 3 panelists today. So I'm gonna unmute their microphones. Thank you so much for joining. And just real brief, everybody just say hello. Let's do a sound check. Hello.
Hi. Hello.
All right, thank you. All right, so who I have joining with me today is Miss Tilford. Can everyone say hello to Tilford?
Hi.
Okay, and also I have Miss Fobb. Can everyone say hello to Fobb? All right, and then I also have the Tamika Hood. Say hello, Miss Tamika.
Hello, guys.
All right, hold on one second. Let me make this adjustment. I'm just so glad and pleased everything is working. Okay. So while we do that, one more. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. If you are watching on my Facebook Live, you are more than welcome to leave a comment right now. If you have any questions that you feel that are pressing on you, we will take time during the show to answer those questions. But until then, we want to have a good structured format. And so what we're asking is that you take a minute to like and share. the video, okay? Do that because there may be someone later on that could use this information as well. Thank you, Clyde. Hi, Clyde. Hi, Shaka. Stacy Roach from North Lake. Ladies, say hello. She's watching.
Hi, Stacy.
Johnson, he's from A.W. Spence. He's online. All right, so I'm pleased how everything is set up, and so I'm ready to go. Now, for those of you who are watching, I'm gonna let them tell their name again and just real quick what they do in education. Starting with you, Ms. Tilford.
Hi, I'm Kiara Tilford, and I'm an administrator. I'm an assistant principal.
All right. Yes, thank you for joining us for this discussion today. And yes, Ms. Fobb.
Hello, I am Travana Fobb, and I am a sixth grade middle school teacher, and I'm also a certified reading specialist in the state of Texas.
Thank you so much again for joining. And the Ms. Hood.
Hi, I am a fifth grade math teacher. This is my 19th year in education.
Right, and my name is Southern Girl, but they know me as the Miss Delaney, and I will be upon my 20th year in education. And so, as you see, this is a beautiful panel, but always also a seasoned panel. And this job that we do, the career that we have in education, is not something that we do for a paycheck. This is a hard job. Don't you agree, ladies?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
That we do from the heart. This is a job that wakes you up in the middle of the night. So I'm so honored and thankful that when I reached out to you, I already knew who I needed to have this discussion, because there are so many parents and there are so many teachers that are going through what we call a transition. And during transition, we work together, we come together, we pull together. But we want to share our experience as educators who have the news that we could not return to a place that we love. We could not return to a place that we operate and share our gifting. And now but we're thankful for the gift of technology to be able to continue to do that work. We also understand that there are so many parents. Have y'all seen the memes, ladies, in the comments and from the frustration? Has there been a new appreciation for teachers? Okay, if you are watching the show and I have my Anita Delaney, I see you. Hey, love, that's my mom. I always got to shout her out, and I know my dad is right beside her. But I just want to make sure that we get some shout outs and some hearts to teachers today, because
Definitely.
I've never been appreciated, right? Appreciation for educators. But before we do that, we also want to give hearts and congratulations and some warm feeling to our parents who have been forced to take on this task, right? And so that's why it was so important that we come together today to share some tips that we feel that might be helpful for you as teachers, to share some tips for parents, to take some of the stress and burden off. You already have so much on you. So we ask that you stay tuned during the whole show, because there will be something for you. Everybody take a minute to like and share. And as we do that, hi Nellie. As we do that, I'm going to ask, and I want you all to take a minute to answer this question, okay? And also kind of include your role in that as to why this, how are you surviving this process from going on spring break, right? And then not being able to return to your campus. Starting with you, Ms. Tilford, how have you been surviving?
Well, to be honest with you, I've been just taking some time to myself. I'm actually keeping a kindergarten student, and so it's been quite interesting. I'm getting a chance to see it from an administrative role where I'm working with my teachers and teams all day long, attending planning meetings that we have, as well as teaching a child on the side, which is really hard, but it's been really rewarding, and so I get a chance to see both sides.
Your plate is full. So
Yes.
you're at home and you're doing a dual role. You're not only, and as an administrator, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
even more added because you have a vision for the whole campus and for
Right.
for not for one grade level, but for every
Right.
child. What has been one of the most pressing things that has been on your mind during this process?
I think for me, I'm worried about two things. I'm not really worried, but my heart is there. I am, for one, thinking about my teachers, hoping that they are taking time to take care of themselves in the midst of trying to stay healthy, but also knowing that they are one person and they can only do, one thing at a time. They've done a phenomenal job with getting on board and setting up their Google Classrooms as well as their Seesaw classrooms. Those are two components that we use. And so they've done an awesome job, and I'm really proud of them. And then, too, I'm worried about or concerned about, making sure that our kids understand that this is just something that we're having to go through and that this will build grit and resilience in our students. Um, and to know that there will be an end to all this and that we'll all be together, real soon, hopefully May. If not, then we'll come back next year and start strong again like we always do.
All right, and you sound like a leader. Thank you so much because that trickles down, right, ladies? How our leaders handle situations like this really can make or break a whole campus. And so, just kudos to you, Ms. Tilford, and walking in that role as a leader because you have, like you said, when you're there, you're doing that and you're taking on the task of helping another child to make sure that their education. So hats off to you for that.
Thank you.
All
Thank you.
right. Now, Ms. Fobb, same question to you. How have you been surviving this transition?
Well, me personally, first of all, I believe that I believe in God Almighty, and I believe that He causes all things to work together for the good of those who are called according to His purpose. And even though I know that He causes all things to work together for the good, I truly don't believe that He sent this pandemic. I don't believe that He sent it, but I believe that He allowed it. Because if we look at the world around us, if we look at the world, it has slowed down. The world as we know it has truly slowed down. And I feel that He has had us to slow down for a reason. And so with that being said, I am building my relationship with Him. I spend more time with Him, time that I did not give Him as I was busy and in going to the school every day and into the classroom. So now I'm able to get that time back. I'm able to spend more time with my family. I'm learning technology. I'm learning technology, and I enjoy communicating with my students and getting to see them on Google Meets and just see their faces and letting them know that everything's going to be okay. It's just the time that we have right now to slow down. We get to build relationships with the ones that we love, husbands and wives, children and their parents, siblings. And I just think that this is a perfect time to rekindle lots of relationships. I was telling my husband, I said, honey, I think this might just be the next baby boom era.
I
And I said that.
we all agree that there's an opportunity for more students coming our way after this.
Absolutely, job security.
That is so true. I'm glad you touched on that because there's a lot of parents that are watching. There are a lot of teachers out there that are believers. I'm so thankful for this platform because I can say God on Southern Girl, but we know just during the day what we do, we don't always mix that. And so I'm think that this is a great platform that I can speak freely, and that there are parents out there that know that their children are in the care of people who are really have a heart to nurture. And you're right, this situation has created so much time to have introspection, because if there's nobody busier on the earth than a teacher, do you agree?
Oh, yeah.
24-hour do not stop job. Miss Hood, when you think of that 24-hour and you know how you go, like you are a champion for your students, and you think of the drive and tenacity that you've had all year and that momentum. We know STAR, we're coming up. We all set our goals and for our students for the year. For that to come to the type of hope that it has, how has that impacted you as in regards to your teaching, in regards to your students?
It's impacted my life greatly because I am such a go-getter and I have high expectations for my kids. I'm transferring all of that into online learning or virtual learning. So my expectations are the same as if I were in the classroom, and they know it. So I give constant feedback, making sure that my kids understand the lesson for the day, and just making sure that they are where they need to be. I am providing them with additional support through Zoom. I am always available on my phone, providing feedback also. I think one of the biggest challenges as being a parent of a daughter is also working alongside with her. Not only do I have to make sure the needs of my kids are met, I need to make sure that she's doing what she needs to do also in her tasks that are at hand.
Right, so you were doing a balancing act. Raise your hand on here if you have young kids at home.
I do.
I love putting my hand down and I'm just playing. But no, seriously, it is a balancing act, isn't it? Because
it is.
in your mind, I mean, in your mind all day, it's organization in your head all day. I know in my head, organization, need to do this, need to do that. So when you have that on your mind with the capability to work at home, and then you're looking at your little one that needs that scheduled time because you have to transition to that role for teachers who wanting that same thing from you. How do you balance that? Like, what are you doing to create new structures, new routines? Who wants to speak to that?
I'll go first.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I think just creating some sense of normalcy, coming up with some type of schedule, a daily schedule will help to ease the anxiety that some of our kids have. Well, a lot of our kids have. And then also having input from the child about their schedule, and make sure you also block off some mommy and me time or daddy and me time, something where you're stepping away from the academics and you're just enjoying each other. So just some sense of normalcy with routines and schedules will help to ease a lot of the anxiety.
Thank you for that. That is so important, because are we experiencing anxiety?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Give me some hearts or thumbs up. Some people can put the tear. Isn't there a tear emoji? This is your day to vent, because all experience some form of level of stress or anxiety. And then that's when that internal when we make our adjustment, we have to get going. Now, Ms. Fobb, you said something very important about, because there's a lot of parents that have jumped in, they've done the research. Oh, homeschool, I get to do it better than Ms. Davis ever did it. I'm tired of my child saying, Ms. Hood does it like this. And so this is my chance, right? And they have that day plan from 6:03 all the way to 10:55. What advice can you, which unfortunately or fortunately, they're limited because there's nowhere to go, right? Okay, so with that in mind, what vision do you want parents to have when they're thinking of creating a day for their child at home?
First of all, I would say don't stress. Don't stress. You do the best you can with what you have. And I know that, I know of parents that struggle with technology. every child does not have technology in the home. And sometimes there is technology, but it isn't enough for the work or the amount of children that are in the home. And so I would say, you know, you don't stress, you simply do the best that you can. I was reading today earlier, first of all, the state of Texas, what I've learned was that they have certain requirements for homeschooling children, and time and how they break up that time is nowhere on there. They ask for a few things that are legal, and those things are reading, grammar, writing, math, and some type of character building. And those are the things that are required. Those things are legal. Those things they have to happen when you're homeschooling. I was reading that in homeschooling, really, it's not 7 hours a day. It's not 7 hours a day. And so we just need to calm down a little bit. Don't stress out as much. At doing a little reading, this is what I found out, that elementary, they usually have homeschool from anywhere between 1 and 2 hours. Middle school is 2 to 3 hours a day, and high school is 3 to 4 hours a day. We're talking about homeschooling. So just being careful.
That
anywhere between 1 and 2 hours. Middle school.
When you think of the homework that you're sending in as a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
speak to that, because parents may be thinking this isn't enough to keep you busy because they're needing something to keep.
Middle school is 2 to 3 hours.
So what can you say? I really want you to speak to those time frames, because that's important. That's a new shifting for parents, because they're with us from 7:30 to almost 5 o'clock extracurricular. And then so for the majority of the day, they're gone, and then they're coming home. And now we're sending a couple of hours of homework for the week or work for the week. So help with that time frame to help parents make that transition, why those block of times are important. And
okay. Well, first of all, we have to remember and just think about where we are right now in this world. We are in unforeseen times, and we all are going through, the stress levels are already high. Yeah. Not only are they high, I mean, you think about the parents that are losing their jobs, parents that are not working, daycares that are closed. I know mine is closed. And so even though there are some that may be open, there are some that are closed. So with all of that, and then the fact that there's not enough technology in the homes, you know, I feel that, and I'm grateful for my school district, because they came out and they were like, listen, keep this in mind as you are giving out these lessons. Keep this in mind. As an ELAR teacher or any content area, they are expecting us to give an hour a week. So when you divide that up, you're talking about anywhere from 10 to 12 minutes a day. And so I think that is great. It goes along with the homeschooling hours. And at the same time, it allows us to be considerate of these families and what they're going through. And so I think that we just need to keep the stress levels down, enjoy each other, learn from each other. I have a 5-year-old little girl. I was about to say 4, but she just turned 5 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And I'm enjoying spending this time with her. Like, mothers and daughters, fathers and sons, this is such an opportunity. Fathers and daughters. My husband was just with Trinaya on the trampoline. After they got out of the trampoline, Trinaya and I played softball.
And
you know, but
that is good, because we work so hard and you don't turn it off. And so I'll just hear the celebration and relief in you to send that message. Enjoy the time, because never in America, I was talking to one of my mentors, Mr. Ed grade, he has a political show as well. And I always I was like, what do I need to include about politics, or is there something important that I'm missing in regards to what we're doing in education? And you know what is interesting, there hasn't been an impact in education to this degree since 1954, the Board of Education, when we were trying to get rid of segregation. That is the last time. That's in 1954. Okay, so think 1954, yeah, curriculum change, procedures and things like that change, but the impact to the education system has not been had in our nation since 1954. And here we are in 2020 with an impact of this degree. But one thing, fortunately, where we are in society, we were prepared to take on the brunt and the transition. I know in less than a week, districts were moving. My students left with what they needed the Friday when we got the message. They were walking out the door with their laptops and their hotspots. Teachers had training and resources. So I feel, and I'm so thankful as we've all had our conversations, to be able to say that across the DFW Metroplex, that our kids really did get everything they need in our effort, in our district's effort to be prepared for this crisis. Now, Ms. Tilford, as an administrator, when you think of like how Ms. Fobb and Ms. Hood, and you know that you have teachers at home, right? And that they're being expected to implement all the demands and all the requirements, all our whole school system is making adjustments. Laws are being changed every day. When we think of special education, 504 plans had to be updated, IEP plans, all those being held through Skype. Urgent to get the parental permission, because now legally we have to make an adjustment to accommodations, to modifications, because they're not being implemented the way they said by law we were going to do it. People are not understanding the full magnitude of all that it takes. So as an administrator, when you speak, because you're going to speak to those teachers who may not be where Fobb is yet, like, hey, I'm gonna go, because it takes, right? It takes a minute to get to that place, and for them to really have that balance. So for those who have not reached that yet, what would you say to teachers that you think all administrators would want them to know right now?
I think for me, I would just say just to slow down, calm down. This is a calling. Teaching is not just something that, if you couldn't be a lawyer, be a teacher. I don't know who came up with that, but I disagree. And so we have this thing where we want to be perfect, and we want to make sure that we have all the information and have our lesson plans right, and we're communicating with parents, and we're trying to keep up with everything that's going on with the district. I will say that in my district, we've been fortunate enough to have the back part of, our curriculum specialist and all of the people that were there ready to implement and throw out everything that we needed in a timely fashion. Our job as administrators is just to make sure that teachers are kept afloat as to what's going on, in addition to making sure that we understand, that not everything is going to get done the way that they would like for it to get done. And really, we're there to help support them. I was on a few calls today, and it wasn't really that I was sitting in and checking in on what they were doing, because I trust them. I wanted to be trusted when I was a teacher, and so I give them that same respect. And to hear the conversations, like, I didn't have to jump in and say, let's calm down, let's take a moment, let's look at this, let's look at that. My teachers were on it. They were planning. You could hear the laughter in their voices. I got a chance to see their faces, so I can tell that they're taking time out for themselves. But I really want teachers across the nation to really realize that, this was coming. They always said we were going to be replaced by, computers and things like this. Well, they can never replace us. And so continue to dig in, do what you can, in the midst of all of this, like Mrs. Fobb said, take some time with your family and don't get bogged down. And I tell my teachers, if there's something that you need, or if you just want to call me and talk, just call me. I don't care what time it is. Call, talk, email, text, whatever, and I'll make sure that I ease your mind. Let me do the worrying for you. Mm-hmm. Let me figure it out for you so you won't have to go through that. So I think it's been really good. I hope so. Our teachers are in good spirits, and just like speaking with the teachers on this panel, you all are in good spirits, and I really appreciate that because our kids need that.
That is so true. And I'm glad you ladies are continuing to relay that message, because all four of us have walked in leadership in a capacity on our campus. So those of you who are watching, we are leaders, okay? We have served, and that is in our nature. So for leaders to be here telling you, hey, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to just take a moment through this transition. Go enjoy your family. Go just take some time and be still. Reach out. Reaching out is so important. Ms. Hood, when you think about some teachers that you work with, I know we still find our way to connect and share. What are you doing? Are you doing this? Or did you do that? As you're talking and communicating with some of your team members and not being able to have that team meeting, what are some of the things that you all are sharing together in order to keep that camaraderie in the time that you have to be divided? Or
we have a text thread. So we are texting constantly, checking each other's gauge of how they're doing, most times on a daily basis, sometimes every few days. We're also discussing things that are working for us, maybe working for someone else, maybe not for others, like what things did they tweak. So just making sure we're all doing our part and making sure that we're taking care of each, self.
Right. Now, Fobb and I are the ELAR queen, Miss Tilford, she's our specialist in reading. You have the most fun content that I have ran from my whole life, which is math. Okay, so you have the content. Every parent's ready to hear from you right now, because usually they can get through a story, they can make up something with characters, the plot, the ending, but when they get to that math, okay, that's when it can all fall apart in that one-on-one at home. So when you're thinking of parents supporting their child with math at home, think of what are some resources that they can use, because math looks totally different than when a lot of people were in school. So how can they support?
Several sites that I use is Khan Academy, and it's for basically all grade levels. It's an awesome resource that basically gives you an introduction to whatever concept it is. It walks you through it very slowly, and it uses a language that everyone can understand. I've even had to Google some things for myself with my own daughter. Another resource is Math Antics. It's awesome. Also, it's another resource where it'll walk you through, and it's engaging as you and your child are sitting there, you're watching the actual video, and you can also stop the video and ask clarifying questions to your child. What just happened? Why did he do this? What's happening to the total? So I'm thinking 5th grade, that's where my mind is going, because that's what we did today. So just asking questions, stopping, and just having your child to kind of work with the video. If your child can go ahead and solve the problem completely, let them do that, and then finish the video to see if their answer was correct. And so just being there with your child, just providing that support that you can. Also, reach out to your child's teacher. Your child teacher is an advocate for your child. I'm available majority of the day. I am.
Everybody can call you Hood.
Yes, they can email me, because I get emails all the time with questions and comments and concerns. And so I am constantly emailing parents and calling parents. If I haven't seen a child in Google Classroom, I'm concerned, because all that we've gained this year can go down, the drain because, of not participating in virtual learning online. So it's a big concern of mine.
That is so true. I understand that. And I was going to ask you something else, but I'm going to come back to you. What are some of the ways, lady, that parents can make learning fun and engaging at home? Any advice?
Cooking.
Yes, cooking. Yes.
Cooking, and even walking outside, even measurement along with your walking. If you have a Fitbit or any smartphone, just measurement, doubling, tripling, half, counting out pepperoni, 1+1, 1+1, here's 2. We have 3 pepperoni total. We need 17 in all. So how many more do we need? So it's just cooking. I think it's just a real life way to connect.
I love that. And then there's fun to share.
And I would say
dancing.
Yeah.
Today. We did Go Noodle. We were supposed to go on a nature walk. I'm sorry we didn't do that, but we did go to the patio and get some plants or some ivy leaves, and we made a nice what am I trying to say, vase. And we talked about what a plant needs to grow, and so that was real fun. I mean, we've just been trying to make it as fun as possible. Reading in a different voice, using a different character. Sometimes I'm acting like I'm a bunny and I have a bunny voice, and I know that sounds crazy, but it's the truth, and it keeps the kids engaged. So I just feel like being outside of the box, you can really reach your kids. And so don't think that you have to be standing up in front of them saying, you need to read, and let me listen. No, stop and talk about it and have fun with it and relate it to real world experiences, because that's what we're doing in the classroom every day. That's what my teachers are doing.
And I would say, I guess I can start with Trinaya, Play-Doh, slime, those things that parents just hate to have in the house, but building those fine motor skills and being able to work with those, just have fun with your children. Create letters with the Play-Doh. Create letters. Talk about the sound that they make and different things that start with the particular sound of the letter that you have created with Play-Doh. Go out. I'm a gardener. We go out and we garden. We have planted. We talk about soil. We talk about the earth. We talk about those things. And then just moving up with reading and older children, reading with your children. You read a page, I read a page. When you read a page, I will summarize what you've just read. And then let's exchange. Then I'm going to read a page and I want you to summarize. Let's role play. Let's be characters from out of the story. How would you handle this different? What if you were this character? How could the story end differently? What if this person was never in the story? How would the story be different? Those are some of the things we can talk about, making connections with what we read and connecting it with the real world, connecting it with experiences that you may have already happened. And I'm all for cooking, Miss Hood. Let's cook. Let's bake.
Right.
Now I want you to write a summary of what you have just learned as you bake this cake.
You know what I love, and that tied into everything that you said, because as I listen to you, I try to listen to you as a parent who was getting that information. And as I listened to you, there wasn't anything that you said that was too out of there that I couldn't do at home. And I think the most meaningful part of that is that it's going to create memories. It's going to create time. It's going to create those conversations. What we want parents to know is that a lot of times you're so busy that your kids are just starved for your touch, and they're just starved for your attention and just for your time, just for your attention to be on them. And so for that 12 to 15 minutes, whether it's working on an assignment or planning or cooking, just that time together is going to allow you to learn so much about your own child. It's so much that you're going to see as we as parents, as teachers, and we look and our own children, we see them in us. And so like Fobb and Miss Tilford and Miss Hood have saying that there is a gifting to your children being at home all day, okay? And so just any way that you can find ways to incorporate them. I know we feel limited, but that's where your imagination can continue to grow, and you can tap into that because they have one. They have some great, even they may have some ideas. Now, when we're thinking of some real needs, because we know it's part of what we do too, that there's a lot of the downfall and the ugly side that comes, you know, with some of what we see. Are there any resources? Because we talked as we prep for the show, you know, just even abuse skyrocketing at home. We have concerns as teachers about making sure our babies eat every day. You know, we know that that building was the one constant for some of our youth, from kindergarten all the way through high school. So it's not only having students log on for an assignment. I know for me, when I see my baby's face, you know, I'm just so glad to see that they're okay. Like, even though they're not mine, they were not birthed from me, you still have a sense of responsibility of nurturing and making sure that that child is okay. So when I see them, even though they're a little sleepy and they've been up all night, they made a commitment to still log on. But when I see their faces and I see they're okay, even during the separation, it's giving me a sense of peace to know that my babies are safe. How about you?
Yes, definitely. I know within my district, we're still giving out meals. And so I would encourage parents to contact your local district to see what the meal times are and what locations are being provided for you to go and pick up meals. There's also, I know in my particular county, there's a system called Calling Cares, and it's something that you can look up online, and there's all sorts of resources there. I mean, a plethora of them that I even didn't have any idea about up until a year ago. So that's another resource that I'm familiar with. And then those kids that were getting like Food for Kids, we've made sure that they will continue to get that as a district. So just making sure that they're getting the meals that they were used to getting, as well as knowing there are resources out there that they can touch on. So
I do have one update. I know a requirement now that TEA is requiring is that parents can no longer come and pick up the meals. They have to have some form of ID. It could be the school report card, or they can bring the kids with them, but the parents are not allowed just to come and pick up the meals for the family. They have to have some proof that the kids are actually receiving the meals.
that
Wow.
makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know. Thank you for that update.
Mhm.
Did you have anything to add, Ms. Fobb?
I think that that's it for me for right now. I will say that I know my district, I don't know if this is going to change in the future, but I know we are moving to doing, I think, lunch on Mondays, meals on Mondays and Wednesdays. So they're giving them enough to last for 2 days. And then I think it's Mondays, Wednesdays, and then Fridays. And so it just depends on the district. So make sure that you are communicating, going on your school's website to find out that information.
That's good. Good to know. Victoria Parker is watching. She says hello. So give her a wave.
Hi, Tori.
Hi.
Oh, but it's hi. Everybody says hi, Tori. Hi, Tori. One-on-one. So we see you. Thank you so much. I know your family is watching as well. Thank you so much. It's good. Hope everyone is doing well and being safe. I want to thank some other people for watching. Derek Williams, Patrick Washington up in the shine. Marcia Bristol, thank you so much. She said, hey, Miss Hood.
Hey.
Nyla, hi Nyla, thank you for joining in. And because you know, even college students, we're used to kinder, elementary, middle school and high school, but even online learning for adult learners and our college students. That was another stress for parents who may have had kids away at home having to come back. So what we're doing is so important, ladies. Chris Johnson said he's going to step up his Zoom game.
Yay!
No, that technology piece, because
Forces you.
the game a long time, right? And so we can remember when you could do it with a pencil and paper and make it happen. But throughout the years, through more advances, there's so much technology, right? And so for those teachers who are listening who might be a little bit challenged, we just want to encourage you. You got YouTube, you know, there's so many resources. You have time to use this to improve your skill set as well, and just take some risks and not be so overwhelmed, and reach out to your district and peers as well to grow in your technology, because as we can see, this is where the world is trending, right? Yeah, could be. All right, and let's see if we have Clyde Glenn up in New York. He says, hello, ladies, beautiful Black women in charge. Okay. He got some good eyes, right? He got some 20, don't he? Okay. And so people are watching. I'm so glad we all tuned in. Before we close out, you're welcome, Chris. Thank you so much for your support. And before we close out, you all, I just want to leave you with any lasting remarks, because we're at 7:57. Do you feel like we gave a lot of good information in this time?
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up, is there any lasting encouragement for a teacher, favorite quote, scripture, any encouraging word that you want to give, one to parents and one to teachers?
Well, I would like to just say, again, be encouraged. I know that, and maybe Tilford will hit on this a little bit as she's closing out, but I know that stress levels are high, and so are abuse rates.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just think that it's imperative. It is so important that we think about the times that we're in. And so much is happening, and it's happening so fast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Louisiana, so I have family there. I have family that have been affected. And it's a scary thing. And so we just have to think about the times and think about where we are right now, and we have to learn to pull together, put the stress aside, and do what is most important, and that is love. Without love, we have nothing. And so we have to learn to love our neighbors, our family, and put aside anything that is negative, or any relationships that have been broken. This is a beautiful time to mend those relationships. And so that's what I think of. I think of people. My heart goes out to people, to our parents, and know that you have support. Your teachers are here. I love my students. I love the opportunity to speak with them every day, to give comments on their assignments, and just remind them that everything is going to be okay. So you have a support system, parents. Use it. Talk to those teachers. If you don't see that they're reaching out, it could be because they have a huge family at home, and they are learning how to organize, as Southern Girl has mentioned earlier. So, there are teachers that are struggling. And it's important to know that there are teachers with children and families as well. So reach out to them if they have not reached out to you. Be encouraged.
That says it, doesn't it? Okay.
Yes.
I know, come on in, but just close out. Thank you, Fobb, because that is it in a nutshell. That's just empowering. Southern Girl Speaks is about empowerment, and sometimes we have to realize that everybody is not always at a place and ready to cope so quickly. You know, our day to day, you just get it and you make adjustment and go. So we're used to that, but we are wanting to encourage, because the whole world right now is having to make that adjustment and adding on this component to that. So thank you for that. Who's the next?
I'll go really quickly. I just think reaching out for support. If there's something that a teacher may be struggling with, co-workers, admins, specialists, ILT, whoever, just reach out. And this is all a new process for all of us. So just, just kind of go with the flow. Don't stress. Take a minute to step back and just kind of breathe and just look at where you are and what's around you. For parents like myself that are dealing with kids who are either in elementary, junior high, or high school, do what you can. You know what? Fobb said it best. You can only do what you can. You do what you do with the best. You just do what you can, and that's just it. So don't stress. Just enjoy your child. Enjoy that time. And there you go.
Thank you. And that sounds like something you had to say to yourself at times.
It is.
Come on, tell the truth.
It is, because I'm, so.
I'm just saying, that's why I said that empowerment. We have to do that for ourselves. Thank you, Ms. Tilford.
Thank you for letting me go last. I have struggled with anxiety myself in this process, and I've been very transparent about that. And so what I'm learning to do day by day is to trust God. It's brought me deeper into digging into the word so that I can understand why we're going through what we're going through, as well as understanding where God is going to take us. I have a ring that I wear every day, and it's Jeremiah 29:11. And you have to know the plan that God has for you. And it's plans to prosper. We're not going to stay in this state forever. And so tonight, when you get ready to lay down, I hope that you get your babies on the floor and bend on your bended knee and pray to God and ask him for grace and mercy, and just know that we are going to be okay. Your kids are going to be fine. They'll look up when they're in college and was like, I remember that time when you got a chance to stay at home with me for 2 months. They're not going to remember anything about, this pandemic that we're going through. So just be encouraged, as my colleagues have said, and find peace in every day.
That is so good. Yeah, so encouraging. Hi, Lily. I have to say hi to Lily. All right. Thank you all so much. And before we go, give a shout out real quick. Anybody shout outs?
I have a shout out to Nyla. She helped me get dressed today because this is the first time I've had on makeup in 2 weeks. So
you gorgeous.
I would love to give a shout out to my hubby, to my kids. Whoop, whoop. He's holding it down, which is why you do not see Trinaya right now. So I give a shout out to them and to my school and my teammates who may be on right now. I want you to know I love you. And thank you for tuning in. I will say my AP rocks. And I don't know if she's on, but she is very, she understands. And Tilford, she's much like you. And I thank God for her every day. So if they're on, I want to give a shout out to them as well.
I'm going to give a shout out to Maddie, of course, and of course, Miss Howell. So just appreciative of just the little small things in life. And of course, the blessings that we don't see that will be manifested from this. This is a growing process for all of us. It's new, it's unknown, it's just new territory. So we're all just trying to figure this out. So it's just, I guess it's a blessing to kind of experience this and to see what's on the other side of it. So shout out to everybody who's watching and who tuned in.
Thank you so much. And depending on how this is going, we may have to come back. I'm willing to come back and do this again because as it's ongoing, parents are going to need a support. So all of you are watching, you can see this is a hard job. It doesn't turn off. We could be watching our next sequel to Netflix. I'm on Ozarks. I think some people got their little series going. This still is personal time that we're willing to give if it's going to reach a family, if it's going to reach a teacher, or be in all the biggest goal to impact a student during this transition. So thank you so much for watching Hypophonia. Be sure to come back next week on Southern Girl Speaks. I have a motivational Monday about 6:30 with Farrah of DDD Fit. I'm also working with Tilford. She is a homeschool phenomenon, a nationally known author, and what we are currently living is her lifestyle. And so you want to find her on World School on Facebook, where she even has authors that come in and read to children, the actual authors who wrote the book. Okay, she actually has them come on and talk to children and read to them. So much that she set up. So we're going to continue to share resources after this. My three panelists are going to drop down the links to the resources that were shared so that they're all collected here. Feel free to inbox, add us as friends as this goes on. If you're needing support, and most important, keep God first. Use this time to not only clean your external house and your bathroom and your bedroom, but we want you to work on your inner vessel and your inner house as well. And so thank you so much for joining, and have a wonderful rest of your week. And we're out of here. Say bye, ladies. Bye.
Bye, guys.
All right. Can y'all give them some hearts and show them how wonderful they are? Give them some hearts. Hey. All right. Bye-bye.